Recorded Books presents The Mysteries of Beethoven's Hair by Russell Martin and Lydia Nibley. Narrated by Jeff McCarthy and directed by Angel Morality Dotson.
Chapter 1. Beethoven, A Lock of Hair. Ludwig von Beethoven's hair spread wildly out from his head and blew in all directions as he took his daily stroll through the city of Vienna. He had a habit of clasping his hands behind his back, his head thrusting forward, and he walked in an odd, lumbering way. His expression was often foreboding, and his eyes appeared small but bright. His complexion was dark, and his face had been pockmarked by smallpox when he was a boy. Although his mind was full of music, he could not hear the noise of the great city in which he trod. The deafness that years before had begun to rob him of subtle sounds, by now had reduced his world to silence, and he could hear only the music he imagined. Yet Ludwig von Beethoven, this strange figure who sometimes was mistaken for a tramp because his clothes were dirty and his appearance so disheveled, was actually the most celebrated composer in the world. In a time without film or television or recorded music, live performances provided the only opportunity for people to hear and appreciate music. What we now call classical music was an art form that was enormously important in the lives of the privileged and the unfortunate alike, and composers like Beethoven often were seen as little less than gods. Newspapers wrote obsessively about musicians and composers, and huge crowds gathered outside concert halls when a new work was being performed. Despite his deafness and his strange ways, Beethoven had premiered his Ninth Symphony to huge approval, and people believed his bold, passionate, and revolutionary music would endure for centuries. As Beethoven walked in Vienna, he couldn't possibly have imagined that on his death, a lock of his hair would take an amazing trip through time, and that it would answer the question of why he suffered so many illnesses. Like the bones of ancient Christian martyrs that were considered sacred, and like the venerated bodies of deceased Tibetan Buddhist Dalai Lamas, a particular lock of Beethoven's hair would become a very important relic, a physical remnant of a once-living human being that kept the spirit of that person present and powerfully alive for others. How fitting that the wild mane that had framed his face and made him instantly recognizable would unlock some of the secrets of his body,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?